hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and you're about to listen to a deep sleep hypnosis session that is designed to do two things. One, help you have a really good night's sleep, and the second thing is to break a dependency or habit of using your phone immediately before going to bed. And that's important for a couple of reasons. One is that a lot of the applications that people use right before they go to sleep give them either dopamine or some kind of stimulation. So that's not conducive to a restful night's sleep. And the second thing is that it can create open loops. So it might be that you've learned something and you're wondering about what the next thing is, or it might be that there's a message exchange, but you don't know what the next message is going to be. And these open loops actually make it more difficult to sleep. So what's included in this hypnosis session is a suggestion of having a boundary that also creates friction. And there's two parts to this boundary. One is physically turning your phone off. I mentioned 10 p.m. here because that's the client that I was working with and that's what they wanted. You can set that time whichever is the right time for you, but physically turning it off then has the suggestion that as you turn the phone off, you're priming your brain to get ready for sleep. And the second thing is that people that really are, let's say, addicted or have lots of use on their phone and they're used to getting that dopamine, quite often will wake up 3 or 4 or 5 times a night and kind of check their phone. So this also has the suggestion of using a time safe. A time safe is like a small metal box with a code on the front where you set the time that it locks and the time that it opens. So that way, even if you're tempted to kind of check your phone at 1 a.m., you can't access it. And that can be a really helpful way, not to live that way permanently, but to break the pattern of dependency or automatic checking or scrolling. This session is about 15 minutes long, but then it has an extra 30 minutes of theta wave music. So there's around about 45 minutes here, which is more than enough. If you are listening on some kind of device, it doesn't have to be your phone. It could be a different device that you're listening to this on. Some people listen through some of the smart speakers like an Alexa device, and some people listen through their laptop. If you are listening, and this is my hack that I use for myself, sometimes I'll listen to my own hypnosis sessions through a smart speaker. And when I'm listening, I then give it the command to sleep after a certain amount of time. So I might say sleep after 20 minutes, knowing that there's nothing I have to turn off or switch off at the end. It's going to do it by itself. So you can borrow that hack if it's useful. If you like this kind of stuff, it's always helpful for the algorithm. If you can either like, subscribe, follow, share, anything like that, it's really helpful. And if you like the idea of working with me directly, maybe for a bespoke sleep session, there will be a link in the show notes where you can book a free 30-minute consultation call. So rather than listening for a recording that was created for someone else, you can actually have the experience live and get the recording created entirely for you. So if that appeals, check that out. Now, this is a sleep hypnosis session, so normally I don't recommend that people listen to this right before they go to sleep. But this is a sleep hypnosis session. This is the exception. So at the end, you're going to hear either an awakening or a deepener, depending on the context. So if you listen to this and you don't plan on sleeping straight away, then treat the count from 1 to 10 as an awakener. But if you're listening to this and you're in bed and your head's already on the pillow, then the 1 to 10 will actually be a deepener, allowing you to drift into sleep. So ideally, the best way to get the most out of this session would be actually to listen in bed, ideally not on your phone device. So find that comfortable place, ideally your bed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in that slow, long, relaxing breath. And as you exhale, feel that sense of release, as if tension, stress, or worries are starting to leave your body in your outward breath. And when you breathe in deeper than you normally would. And as you exhale, just allow the outward breath to go on even longer, so that each breath takes you deeper than the last, helping you feel a sense of increasing relaxation. Notice with your eyes closed how much easier it becomes to focus on the sound of my voice. Breathing in and breathing out, slow, long, and deep. And with every breath, your body relaxes a little more. And maybe you can notice physical changes. Perhaps tension releasing around your shoulders. Maybe your arms feeling loose or heavy. And your eyelids rest so comfortably, as if they were meant to stay closed for deep relaxation. And as you continue breathing slowly and deeply, you can imagine a wave of calm moving from the top of your head down through your body all the way into your toes. With each wave, your mind becomes quieter and your body feels more relaxed or heavier, yet still supported, safe, and ready to drift deeply. Because as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And that's what a memory is. Harnessing the power of your imagination to reactivate certain neural networks and pathways. So now I'd like you to remember a particular time, a time where you know for certain you had an incredible night's sleep. And maybe it was when you were on a holiday, in that relaxed state of mind, and you can recall the accommodation or the bed where you were sleeping. Or maybe it was a time when you were visiting someone, maybe a friend. Maybe there was a dedicated space that had no connotation other than to sleep. And I want you to picture that comfortable bed in that dedicated space. And then imagine you're in that room, feeling cozy, welcoming, and everything about it signals, primes, that this is a place for deep rest. And just imagine you're wearing whatever clothing is suitable to sleep. And imagine getting into that bed, feeling the softness of the pillow, the comfort and firmness of the mattress, or the warmth of a duvet. And I want you to feel how you felt back then. Safe, relaxed, and comfortable. And you may remember, but I want you to feel how easy it was to fall asleep there, as if your whole body already knew that this was a place only for sleeping and nothing else. And as you relive that moment, those same neural pathways of good, restorative sleep are reactivating now, only this time stronger and stronger, reminding your mind and body what it feels like to drift easily into deep, nourishing rest. And as you enjoy this memory, you can notice and evaluate that this feels more rewarding than any scream, any app, any notification. And from now on, your brain begins to associate the evening not with stimulation, but with winding down, with calm, and with peace. As I count down from 5 to 1, I want you to imagine what it would feel like to drift off into a dreamlike sleep there in that bed on that pillow. 5, eyelids getting heavier. 4, your body relaxing. 3, your breathing slowing down even more. 2, you're accessing that state just before sleep happens. And 1, just imagine drifting off into a dream-like sleep. And some dreams can give wonderful insights, ideas, new ways of thinking that can improve the quality of your sleep and your life. And in that dreamlike sleep, I want you to imagine a near future. And in that near future, see yourself with productive blocks of time there in the daytime, maybe blocks of 4 or 5 hours, separated with a break, and then another block. See yourself intentionally more focused and determined in those blocks of time, so that as it turns into evening, you see that version of you actively looking forward to sleep. But I want you to see yourself with a new ritual, a boundary. I want you to see that as it leaves 9 o'clock and approaches 10, you know this is already the winding down time. Maybe there's certain rituals about what you do during that time, a signal to yourself to get ready, to decompress, to relax, to unwind. But part of this ritual is either at 10 p.m. or before, you actively switch your phone off completely. Not putting it on airplane mode, and not just putting it out of sight, but switching it off. And as you turn the phone off, you are sending a message to your unconscious that your brain can also turn off that conscious, logical, analytical part and go into that relaxing, intuitive, unwinding part. But maybe you see yourself reinforcing your boundary, not because you have to, but because you want to. And imagine seeing that after you physically turned that phone off, see yourself putting the phone in a time safe. This time safe means that after 10 p.m, it's locked. You simply can't access it. And it only opens when the time is set to open. And you get to decide what time that is. Maybe that's 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. or later. You decide. And in doing so, you're not missing out. By having this boundary, this friction, you know that your phone is completely out of reach until morning. And as it locks away, so does the stimulation, the noise, the distractions. And you can almost hear your mind sigh with relief as you're now free to really unwind and recharge. And I want you to imagine in this dreamlike sleep, seeing that even after just a few days of this ritual, you're sleeping better, you're more productive in the daytime, and it's not that you can't use your phone. You're just using your phone intentionally. If you need to learn something, it's there. You need to connect with someone, it's there. And you may even have certain environments where you feel that that dead time can be used to check social media for updates, notifications and alerts. Maybe it's the time when you're queuing and there's nothing else to do. When you're waiting for someone or something, what if that's the time to check? Turning dead time into useful time. But this doesn't have to be at night. Those evenings of late night scrolling have only hindered your sleep, which has impeded your productivity. So see a future where you're sleeping better, waking more energized, being more productive in those blocks of time, and see that you're getting your dopamine now from accomplishments, achievements, and satisfaction, not from the temporary gratification of a like or a notification or a message. And then I want you to imagine further in the future. Imagine yourself on holiday. And I want you to now compare that quality of sleep that you get on holiday is very similar to the quality of sleep you're getting in day-to-day life. Because whether you're in holiday mode or work mode, you now have a way to activate sleep mode. Part of that ritual is turning your phone off and making it inaccessible for a certain period of time. Because you don't need to wait for a holiday to feel this way. You can feel relaxed and comfortable and enjoy sleep whenever you choose, so that every night can feel like a holiday for your body and mind. And very soon, I will count from 1 to 10. And if you're listening this at a time when you want to awaken, then you will awaken. But if you happen to be listening to this when the time is right to sleep, then as I count from 1 to 10, it will simply take you deeper into that sleep-like state. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.